Hi, everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome to session number 2 of the Wizarding World Circle of Fate tabletop campaign. Lots happened in the first episode. Maybe this one will be lighter. Maybe.
I finally recovered.
I haven't.
Finally.
That isn't helping me, Hark.
Does anyone want to explain our headgear? Because I don't understand it.
Yeah, we just kind of decided that this would be cute to all have backwards hats. It's really got no significance.
It's because we all agreed. We all agreed that AJ looks fantastic with a backwards hat, and so we just are trying to look as good as him for the show.
That makes sense.
AJ does look very good in a backwards hat, actually.
What word did you describe it, Jordan? Very bro or very what?
Yeah, you dress like a jock, but like in a good way.
Okay, so as always, we are going to do the warm-up question. And today's warm-up question is, so we started off, well, many of the characters started off telling the story of their first day at school, many of whom started when they were 11. Albion, of course, started when he was much younger. And then all of a sudden, there's a good passage of time, but for the most part, in terms of your times at school, there's a big jump, a big gap from their first day of class to where they are now, where many of them are 15, 16, 17, a lot older. So the warm-up question today is, share with us some memory. It doesn't have to be super significant. It just has to be something that your character, remembers, is stuck with them for some reason or another. Some memory that they have had anywhere between that window that you think might be interesting to tell us about. Especially if it's something that probably will never be brought up in normal conversation, but it might be a little good insight just to see, what else significant or just memorable happened to them during that time period. And in order to help the characters out, or help the players out too, they are welcome to select any NPC. I suggest picking an actual student, any other student NPC, and I will try to answer that question as well.
Basically, there was like a, I would say, year 10 dance for all the kids at Koldovsteretz. And Toby really liked this girl, but she rejected him. And when he finally, because Roxana really encouraged him to ask her out, but she didn't want to go out with him. So Roxana suggested that they go together, and they went to the dance as friends. And had a really nice time, and Roxana got the girl back. She pranked her.
Nice. How did she prank her? I want details.
She put a toad in her punch glass, and she got quite the nasty fright and spilt it all over her nice dress. So she never told Toby this, even but she did do it.
I thought she was going to say she carried her and did blood all over her or something.
Yeah, she just killing cursed her. No big deal.
All right, so for Albion, I think it would have happened probably, he's in what year is he in? What's the last year for them? 11? Wait, they start 3?
You started at you're 7 years old, and now are you 17 now?
Yeah, so
10 years?
So it would have been year 9. So the year prior to the setting, he got what the equivalent of prefect at Mahotokoro is senpai. And I think it was significant for him because he's, in my head, he's a character that very much has his specialty of herbology, and he doesn't care if he's good at other stuff. He's good at what he knows he's good at. So to be given that rank, I think it showed him that it's okay to have a specialty. You don't have to be good at everything to still be considered a leader and have qualities that can help other people. So I think that was significant and will probably help him in the sessions to come to maybe come out of his shell and realize he's smarter than what he thinks in other areas.
Question, since you mentioned that it's okay to be focused on one thing and not in other areas. I imagine that Asa very much wants to be good at everything.
Yeah.
And she seems like a person who puts a lot of pressure on herself a lot to be good at everything,
Mm-hmm.
especially because of Chessa too, because for whatever reason it just seems to come naturally for Chessa, and Asa seems to like struggling to reach this ideal. So I'm just curious, I actually don't want you to necessarily answer this question, but during your interactions with Asa, just keep that in mind.
Yeah. I realized I kind of made a Hermione and a Ron by putting Asa and Nico in there. And I didn't intend to do it, but she's very Hermione and Nico's very Ron, I think, in my head.
Yeah, I definitely see that. They are Hermione and Ron-esque, but I still, at least in my head, see them differently.
Yeah.
They're still very different people.
It was one of the special class of Magizoology. They basically took them to a safari.
Aw.
Yeah, Juan Diego was amazed. He saw all kinds of magical and non-magical animals. They let them disperse for a moment, and he got so caught up watching everything and talking to Nyla that they ended up lost. They couldn't find the group.
Mm.
So the next hour, 2 hours, they were lost trying to find the place, and all the while Juan Diego was freaking out, like, "Oh God, where am I? How am I gonna find the group? I'm dead. I'm basically dead. We're gonna get eaten by a tiger. Tigers don't live in the savannah. I don't care. I'm gonna get eaten by one." And all the while Nyla's like, "Yeah, adventure!" Woo! Until finally one of the teachers find them, and Juan Diego was like, "Yeah, please." And Nyla was just like, "Yeah, it was good that it lasted."
Okay, so being that Levi hasn't had much school experience and mostly just homeschool, I would assume that before actually coming to an actual school, his father would have had him go to like some sort of like magical camp type thing to like, kind of practice a little bit, kind of like a summer camp thing right before school. And there I picture him actually getting a girlfriend by some miracle of God. And, and it was like a good couple of months. And yeah, and then they tried the long distance thing, and we'll see how that worked out, which, spoiler alert, it didn't.
Was her name Anna?
Maybe.
Anastasia, actually. You're close.
Oh. Okay.
So,
Shout out
yes. So, yes, that's the only thing I could really picture that would be significant involving school up until he actually got there, which his first year of school actually hasn't been too great to him. So,
Which NPC character do you want me to answer this question for?
I want to say Toby, but I will defer to everyone else's judgment.
I kind of want to know Chance.
Yeah, same.
Chance
You
is
wanna know
interesting.
Chance? Chance is interesting.
But I'm kind of biased to Chance, if anybody else.
I mean,
Let's just pick somebody crazy like Rodney.
Rodney? Oh, something crazy like Rodney. Oh, that would actually be interesting.
yeah,
Like,
that would be really cool.
Any other ideas of...
Wait me a sec. I'm looking.
Look at the handouts. Look at the characters. There's also characters that you know nothing about.
Yeah, true.
But maybe you might want to wait till you get to know them first.
Finn really interests me. I really like
Finn is interesting too.
I was thinking
Finn is really
And
interesting.
he's a merfolk. That could be like an interesting story.
I'm between Chessa and Skylar.
Ooh, actually.
Chessence is interesting. We've got a lot of interesting
We
characters
got
actually.
this whole episode just you breaking down all the NPCs.
Yeah. But you can only pick one.
I know.
And you'll have to agree.
All right,
I
let's
suppose-
vote. Finn.
Okay. Finn.
Nobody else for Finn.
Finn.
Oh, there's two for Finn.
Yep.
All of this stuff Roxana doesn't necessarily know about, so this is just an insight for all of you players. So Finn has had a very interesting and not very easy life because of who he is. And his family, so he is a quarter merfolk, which means that I think his mother was half merfolk. And when he got into the school, he was trying to keep his lineage in the DL, it's a little bit difficult because once he hits puberty, that's when the scales started showing up on his neckline. And at first, like, his lineage was really cool because one of the most distinguishing features about Finn is his eyes. The color of his eyes are like this sea greeny, bluey color, and it's easy to like literally get lost in those pools. So originally it was actually a really distinguishable feature. But then when the scales started coming out, he was obviously made fun of at school quite a bit. And this is during the time, and you started seeing this when there is sort of like a civil rights-ish type of movement that's happening politically in the wizarding world right now in terms of what determines an actual like quote-unquote person versus a magical beast. Because certain characters like leprechauns, for example, are technically classified as more magical beasts than they are as an actual person, which is why many schools don't really accept them into being in magic school because they're not technically considered a person per se. And so merfolk just recently fell into the person category, or rather half merfolk. All of this is actually explained and written out in the expanded player's handbook that I think Ella found based on our Harry Potter tabletop campaign system, the one that shows all of the different other creatures and possible PC races you can be. And half merfolk is one of them as someone who's a possible half race. So getting into the school of Coldofferets was a little bit harder for him, but they were able to accept him. The students, on the other hand, didn't necessarily accept him. So he's actually he keeps to himself. He's very quiet. Fortunately, he also, a lot of it is also genetic. He's physically strong. He's definitely like a lot larger and beefier than most. So, so really like the biggest memory he has is the fact that it was such a struggle being at this school and going through, navigating his way past a lot of this bullying and being told you're not really a person and all that good stuff. So not a very happy memory, but I think it's a memory that's important to his character, and it'll help you understand his character as we move forward. And that little scene that he had with Alexander, I don't think, just to tell Roxana, I don't think that Alexander ever saw him as less of a person. I don't think that Alexander is racist, is what I'm trying to say. So the fact that he had that confrontation with Finn, I'd like to at least say that most likely Roxana doesn't believe that it has anything to do with what he is. It's more of that specific situation.
Okay. Because like when he said like, "Oh, some people deserve to be cursed," I was like, "Oof."
Yeah, I personally don't think in Alexander's head he was thinking about him being a merfolk. I think he was thinking about what Finn did to him or was trying to do to him. So
all self-defense and whatnot.
Right. But again, ultimately, you can decide what Roxana thinks.
Yeah.
So
I think she completely misinterpreted it.
We got a racist for a brother now.
Yeah, well, according to her.
I guess one of his other memory that Finn also has is when he actually first acquired his staff. So basically, like in Koldovstorets, you start with the wand during your first year, and as you get older, some of the students opt to swap from a wand to a staff, and they can actually cast spells from a staff. And for Finn, he was very excited to have a specially crafted staff for him that actually is an attribute to his lineage, and his history, because he is proud. He's not ashamed of being a merfolk. He's very proud, and I think that despite his past, he doesn't like. Now that he's older, he no longer tries to hide it or shy away from it. So the staff that he gets actually is a trident. It's actually a trident staff,
Nice.
which is very, very
Ooh.
So
specific.
cool.
That's what
Yeah.
he's gonna stab us with in this tournament, guys.
He's Aquaman.
So yeah, I think that was a very more happy, positive moment. And I think once he got his trident staff, a lot of less kids mess with him.
Yeah.
A lot less kids mess with him.
I wouldn't bet with someone. With
Where
a
can I
trident.
get one of these trident staffs?
You can talk to him afterwards. He might talk to you more than he'll talk to Roxana.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think him and Roxana have a very good. I don't think they'll be doing this in a while.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
just
one
tipped
day.
them.
Maybe one day.
All right. I do have follow-up warm-up questions to ask.
Nice.
Now that I thought of it. So my question is for both Brandon and AJ. Did the movie date actually happen? And if so, can you tell us about the movie date?
Can't wait. It would depend when his character would have left. I'm all for it if his character was still there, like the next day or weekend.
I'm assuming you have exchanged like owl addresses. Like I'm assuming you would have exchanged contact information at some point, and maybe became pen pals. I don't know,
Oh,
but that's up to you.
weird.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that you like conversed every month, but maybe at some point you had your movie date. We'll see.
To me, I think
That's up
it would
to
have
you.
been fun and it would have been cool, but at the same time, I don't think Al really cared for Levi very much, because when they asked like, "Oh, anything interesting happened?" He's like, "Nah, Dad was just at work. I didn't meet anybody cool or anything." so I was like,
that
"Oh,
true,
okay."
AJ?
So maybe it was just like a I'll talk to this kid while he's here type situation.
no, I don't. Wait, who did Albion say that to?
Your butler
Your
was like,
butler.
anything
Oh.
interesting happened in London? And I feel like
Yeah.
Hark was trying to like fish it out of you that you had made a friend, and you're just like, nah, boring dad stuff.
Can we retcon that?
The whole time I was like,
To be
you're
fair,
Levi's only friend. Thanks.
I mean, he was also a teenager, and teenagers don't always tell. So how was school? Nothing happened.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
They always-
it was just, I was waiting for it. I was waiting to hear about Levi. It never happened. I was like, oh, okay. Did it mean as much to you as it did to me, obviously?
So no, Brandon, out of character, I felt like the tone of the conversation was going more toward the political. So like I was saving Levi as like a follow up, and then we didn't get to it. So it wasn't anything that Albion didn't like. Levi said, "Don't worry."
Oh, it's okay. My heart was already broken all week. It's cool. That said, like, my butler won't let me go. It's like,
The butler won't let me play.
oh, the old butler won't let me go trick. Okay, I see how this is.
But
I think Albion would have went if he would have been able to. I think it would have just been whether the logistics lined up or not.
Let's get line flower trending, guys.
Hashtag line flower in the chat.
Yeah, please, everyone, show your support.
I guess what the reason I asked that is because now that once the session begins, that might be something in your history. Now that you're together again, so if it did happen, if it didn't happen, we just want to know. We just want to establish whether something or something didn't happen socially between the two of you after that scene.
I mean, go ahead, Brandon. What do you think would have?
Or at minimum, do you think you would have kept in touch to some degree, pen pal wise?
I like the idea of us keeping in contact, but it would really just be up to like if Al would be like, I was just hanging out with this kid, like, because it was
Okay.
definitely a big deal to Levi. Like, it was definitely
Okay.
a big deal that Levi was talking to another peer, because being homeschooled, he didn't get much interaction
A lot
with
of-
kids his age and stuff like that. So it was a big deal to him, but it would definitely be all up to Al.
I think Al would have had like some continual connection, but I don't think it would have been like long term. I think he'll remember him, but right now his focus isn't going to be on Levi. It's going to be on his dad, unfortunately.
Yeah, it could be like they lost contact as they got older. Sort of thing that
that's
happens.
true. Speaking of which, my follow-up question for Juan and Roxana, you both shared a very
Traumatic.
traumatic experience together. So my question is, would you have bonded enough to have exchanged information and also become pen pally like buds? And if so, did Juan eventually introduce Roxana to the tortilla?
Well, I've actually thought about this, and this was my idea. Was like, oh, they probably exchanged 1 or 2 letters afterwards, and Roxanne was like, how are the kids? How's your mom? And like making small talk via letter. But as soon as everything went down with her dad, she stopped talking to him.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't get the chance to show her a tortilla.
We will though. This session is happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
Does that mean you haven't had a tortilla yet?
No, she still hasn't. had
Okay.
tortillas.
Then
Okay, good. This is for consistency. This is important. Now we know that when Roxana and Juan talk again, Juan knows that you haven't had a tortilla yet.
Perfect.
So
That was the true
Now we know that.
tragedy of session 1.
yeah.
and now,
Yeah, forget everything else. We can get Rox a tortilla now.
Right now.
Yes.
and this is the moment that Juan reveals that he always carries a stash of tortillas in his pocket.
Yes.
Ever
After he
since
got
that
lost
day-
in the safari, he just always carries tortillas on him now. Like, you never know when you're going to get lost in a safari.
Exactly. Ever since that day, he doesn't leave home without a tortilla.
Okay, so let's get ourselves back into the session. So we're gonna start immediately after the challengers for the Zodiac Games were announced. Headmaster Algepert Fontaine will then tell everyone that it is time to select the different teams. And so all of the headmasters from the other 4 schools are actually right next to the headmaster of Ilvermorny, and they will begin to help casting a spell. All 4 of the headmasters will cast another charm, a random charm, to determine who gets placed onto which of the 3 different teams.
I wonder which 2 I will be.
We're all on opposite teams. We're the captain of every other team.
Yeah.
I wonder who it could be. She.
We're competing against each other.
One detail that I also forgot to mention, Headmaster Kaitsu Hoshizaki, which is the headmaster of Mahokotoro, he actually is a headmaster who is in a wheelchair. But not like a modern wheelchair. The wheelchair is made from bamboo. Instead of having the wheelchair around in an actual wheel, it actually hovers slightly above the ground. So it's kind of Professor Xavier X.
I was about
a little
to say
bit.
he's Professor X, but with hair.
A little Professor X-like. So now that I thought about that, yeah, that is kind of like what that's like. So. But yeah, so anyway, it hovers above the ground just slightly, a few inches. So, the teams will get sorted and they will call out each person's name. No surprise here. Team number 1 will consist of Albion, Juan, Roxana, and Levi. Surprise, surprise, you're all in a team.
I want a chance in my team.
Oh, instead of Levi?
Kind of looks around to see, like, get a better, now that she sort of knows their names a bit better, just to kind of put the face to the name.
Yeah.
Also during this sorting, the second team that gets assembled is Nico Takahashi, Aika Ayumide, Tobias Petrov, and Tritessa Mukamutara from Castello Brushu. Which means that the final team is Chesa Jing, Naila El Hakim, Finn Djokovic, and Chance Gallagher makes the final team.
Oh my God, Chance and Finn are in the same team.
Chance and Finn
That's
are
going
the
to be a
same
tough team, guys. That's going to be a real tough team right there.
That's going to be a really tough team.
Not for me, it's not.
Yeah, so the teams have been set. Everybody starts to cheer. You still hear a huge cheer from Koldovstoret's probably the loudest of the teams. I would say Mahokotoro is more reserved, so a lot of them are more like applauding politely. There might be a few people cheering, but for the most part, they're quieter than the others. And Koldovstoret's are like, Roxy, 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 clearly.
And she's waving. She's really yucking it up.
And the rest of the headmasters will continue to explain how this event is going to work. So, first of all, every single team will be assigned a common area in Ilvermorny, and the 4 houses of Ilvermorny have already prepared a specific, again, room just for your specific teams. In a moment, you guys will have a chance to select which house you want to be in. Then, from that point on, the event will happen over the course of this semester. So, starting from now until the new year, which is actually the turn of the millennium, from now until New Year's 2000. Because it's 1999 at the moment. Everyone will be required to, of course, go through their normal schooling at the respective schools, but after hours, you are welcome to organize times to get together and start strategizing, planning, socializing with each other as you prepare for the different events.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
The events there are going to be 4 events. Each event is going to be hosted on location by each of the other 4 schools. And the events are going to be themed based around the specific school. So again, each team will have a chance to pick which event they want to do first. I'll get into those details in a moment. Time zones. Time zones is a thing.
Is it, Jordan?
Yes, we know time zones is a thing.
As you can tell by the fact that the yellow are bright and Jordan is just the darkness.
That's just all of Australia all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Koldovstorets and Mahokotora are relatively close to the same time zone, if not the same time zone, I think. And because in Mahokotoro, many of the students don't board there and actually go home after school, all of the schedules of the other schools will adjust to the time zone of Mahokotoro and Koldovstorets. So that means that the school schedule in Ilvermorny and Wagadu and Castello Brushu, they will readjust their schedule so that they are going through their daily class routine at the same time as Koldovstorets and Mahokotoro. In order to help the students, especially because they're boarding at those schools, strategic areas like windows and some strategic outdoor areas in those other schools will be charmed so that there is daylight or lack of daylight in order to match up with the time and sleeping schedules of Mahokotoro and Koldovstorets. So that's how I'm going to take care of the time zone plot hole.
Yay for magic.
I'm sorry?
Yay for magic.
Yay for magic that they can do that. Clearly, the Ministries of Magic internationally are putting a lot of funding into this, because I'm sure putting those charms up 24/7 is not cheap. So
They really want us to succeed.
they want this competition to work after the terrible failure of the Triwizard tournament.
Yeah, let's
They
hope
want
somebody
this to
doesn't get Cedric Diggeried.
Hopefully not.
Now that you said it, it's going to happen.
I know.
How do the teams communicate with each other? So every single group is going to be given special parchments, and these parchments are linked to everybody on your team, so you can actually write notes to each other, and anything you write on your parchment will appear in the other 3 people's parchment. So it's almost like their version of a chat room, almost.
That's so cute.
You know, with the wave of your wand, you can scroll up or down, so you can look at previous conversations. You can delete. Maybe if you cast a wand here, it might show a little like animated wizarding version of an emoji. So like,
Levi's just sending a bunch of gifts.
Yeah.
yes. You are not allowed to chat with your team members during class. Roxana, I think what.
Like, not allowed as in it doesn't work, or not allowed as in it's frowned upon?
It's as in, well, it'll work if you do it, but it's you will get punished. You'll get punished if you're caught chatting with people during class, which is basically the equivalent of people texting
in
during class.
yeah.
That's pretty much the
If you're
equivalent.
caught, you won't get
That's
in
the
trouble
trick.
if you don't
That's the
get
trick.
caught.
My stealth is my best asset.
In order to help communicate while you are in person, each team member will be given a very special substance that is like chewing gum. And what you do is you chew the chewing gum, and then it actually has 2 purposes, because it lets you speak in a way that other people understand you no matter what language you're speaking. It also lets you hear and understand what other people is saying to you, even if they're speaking to you in a different language. So as you're chewing the gum, you are able to speak in such a way that everybody just magically understands what you're saying. But the other use is if you take out the gum and you split it into 2 pieces once you've chewed it and softened it, and you stick it into your ears. When you stick the gum into your ears, it does not interfere with your hearing, but with the gum in your ears, you can understand what anybody's saying when they're spoken to you. So everybody was given this translational gum thing, and that's how you guys are able to understand what everybody's saying when you're speaking to each other. So just for the ease, unless for whatever reason there's a situation that implies that you don't have access to this, everybody just understands what everybody is saying, regardless of whether or not you understand each other's language. So, now that I've gotten that plot hole ironed out, this is supposed to be a friendly competition, so all of the headmasters are going to stress that you are encouraged to still socialize with the other teams.
Let's destroy everyone.
I'm already plotting on like having the band play outside the girls' room and keep her up all night.
Ultimately, the teams can decide what they want to do, but they encourage that you don't silo yourselves from the other teams.
Just to clarify, we're not going straight into our team rooms after this. We're resuming.
Yes, so you are not going to go to your team rooms immediately after this. What's going to happen is there's going to be a big celebratory banquet. So there'll be food, there'll be music, and people can like socialize and mingle. This is all 4 schools, by the way. So people can socialize and mingle with whoever they want. All of the teachers and professors and headmasters are going to be there. So that'll be your free-for-all RP with anyone that you want time. Then after the banquet, you guys will be shown to your respective team rooms. And then you can disperse, you can plot, you can do whatever you want at that point.
Levi's not going to do this, but like cheating. If you get caught cheating in any way, are you like kicked out of the tournament? Do you lose points in the tournament? how this is for rocks. If your character gets caught cheating in any way, how does that affect that round?
Yeah, so if your character is caught cheating, there will be a warning. Your first of all, like your team will end up going last place. Will be last place to whatever that event was if you're caught cheating, but your team will not be disqualified.
Okay.
You will be given a warning, but you won't be disqualified. However, if you are caught cheating again after the warning, if it was one person who cheated, then that one person gets kicked off of the team and is not replaced. So you'll have less people. If it was more than one, then whoever it is gets kicked off. If the entire team cheats, if the entire team is caught cheating, then that entire team is disqualified.
Campaign over.
Doesn't necessarily mean the campaign's over. It just means you're not in the competition.
Yeah.
So, that's a very good question. So, any other questions?
Not for me.
Yeah,
Cheating also constitutes as sabotaging the other teams. So, certain events allow you to sabotage the other teams during the event, but that's within the rules of the event.
Yeah, perfect.
I had to ask because I already saw Jordan's gears turning how she can cheat her way through this.
How can I get away with cheating without being caught?
It's not cheating if you don't get caught.
There you go. Okay, so a representative of each team will be asked to be brought up in order to select the meeting room that you guys will have, the house's meeting room. Who would like to be the representative specifically for that?
Juan Diego's already going.
Okay.
Juan Diego's already going. All right, Juan's going.
Goes to walk up, but then you I imagine storm ahead. So she's like, all right, jeez.
All right. Juan, roll me there's a game skill. Roll me a game skill.
That
Should've
is
said rocks.
intelligent. Should send rods, yeah.
Nico is going to represent the second team, and I'm going to say Naila will represent the third team.
The moment I see Naila going, I'm like, yeah, I knew you were going to be the leader of that team.
She says, "Oh, our team is strong. We got an effing leprechaun and a strong merfolk in our team, and a ridiculously cool chick in golden robes, man."
Oh yeah, I saw that chick. She is really
We're
cool.
gonna get killed, guys. That team's gonna murder us and everything.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, I got a cool team too. Only, that guy, the one from Castelabrucho.
He's just checking out girls, not
yeah.
paying attention.
I'm not sure how useful he will be, but he seems a really cool person.
Oh, you mean the Castellabrucho guy?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, we can take him.
Not even paying attention, anything, just looking around.
All right, so in that roll, Clef got a 6, Nico got a 5, and Naila got a 9.
Of course.
Which means that that team gets to have first pick. So to remind everyone, and for those of you who are watching, you can read all about this on Pottermore, but there are 4 houses in Ilvermorny, just like in Hogwarts. The Horned Serpent, sometimes considered to represent the mind of the witch or wizard. It is also said that Horned Serpent favors scholars. The Wampus, sometimes considered to represent the body of a witch or wizard. It is also said that Wampus favors warriors. The Thunderbird, sometimes considered to represent the soul of a witch or wizard. It is also said that Thunderbird favors adventurers. The Pukwudgie, sometimes considered to represent the heart of a witch or wizard. It is also said that Pukwudgie favors healers. So the group is going to gather together and decide that they are going to go with so we've got Chessa, we've got Naila, we've got Finn, we've got Chance.
That's such a good team.
I know.
It is. It's ridiculous.
That's like the 85 Bears right there. We're in trouble, guys.
We got a Russian girl. She can take on a few bears.
Dude, I don't know.
Okay, so let me break this down. Chessa would go with the horned serpent, because that's mind or witch of a wizard. Naila would either go Wampus or Thunderbird. Finn would either go Wampus or Pukwudgie. Chance would go with Pukwudgie. So that means Wampus, it would be between Wampus and Pukwudgie. Pukwudgie. They'll pick Pukwudgie.
Dang it!
It took the one I wanted.
Sorry.
That's what we all wanted. When he was going back and forth, I was like, oh no!
All right. Now, however, because of Juan's role second place, you guys get second pick of the house.
Okay, so what house are we choosing?
In character, the team, you guys can huddle or whatever it is you want to do to discuss between the Horned Serpent, the Wampus, and the Thunderbird. Go ahead and roleplay this.
So personally, I don't really care. I'll go with whatever you guys decide.
Oh, come on, Roxana. We need to put some heart
personally, I
into
think
it.
you smell really good. Alright, let's go
What?
with like the Thunderbird.
I was thinking
That just
more of
sounds
a-
really cool. I swear my father used to like drive a Thunderbird back in the day.
Hold up, talk slowly.
what's-
You're giving me a headache.
What's a Thunderbird? Like, drive a Thunderbird? How to drive an animal?
It's like a car, like just pick Thunderbird. I think that's the best one right there.
Juan,
Okay.
your brothers go here, don't they?
Yeah,
Pick
that's
the
what
one that
I was
they're
gonna
in.
say. I'm gonna go say Wampus. One of my
Very
brothers
well.
goes to Wampus.
That's the
You,
worst one. That's
uh,
like the healing one. Who wants to do that? That's boring.
Shut
No.
up. You there. Albion, that's your name.
So Al is staring at his dad. He's totally ignoring the others as they're talking. So
Roxana clicks in front of his face.
Like,
he just turns. He goes, whatever he said, and he points to Levi.
Yeah, see? Okay, that's 2 for Thunderbird, 2 for Wampus. How are we going to solve this?
let's flip a coin.
Oh my goodness.
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
All right, ready?
Snowflake,
Rock.
you're on.
Paper, scissors,
Rock,
shoot.
paper, scissors. That was
Rock,
close scissors.
Rock, paper,
Scissors.
scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Why don't you guys roll a game skill?
No, we're gonna win. Someone gonna win.
Ready? Rock,
Paper.
paper, scissors.
Scissors, shoot.
Oh, I don't know. I got confused.
We can't play rock, paper, scissors.
You're going too fast. Buddy, look, you're going way too fast for me. Is it rock, paper, scissors, shoot? How are we doing this?
How about we just simulate this with a games roll?
Alright.
Skill
I
check.
think it's
Roll a game skill check, and we'll actually go ahead and do 2 out of 3.
Oh my
So
god,
best
what
2
a
out of
disaster.
3. Go ahead. Best 2 out of 3. So 8. Felix games roll got a 6. All right. So his first roll was a 6. So Clef, roll one more time because Felix 4 or Levi's is a 4. Okay. So it looks like Juan won. Juan won. Juan won. So Wampus it is.
Ah,
I tried. Sorry, Levi.
pal. Yeah, I guess Wampus is like the 4th coolest one at this school, so might as well.
Yeah, right? I mean, you're gonna enjoy it.
I'm sure you'll adjust.
Yeah?
All right.
Listen to the girl.
Which means Nico's team is going to take the Horned Serpent. They will take the Horned Serpent.
Oh, I didn't even hear the horn serpent. That one sounds so much cooler. I got lost at Thunderbird. My bad, guys. We should have went with the horn serpent for sure.
Okay, and so the Thunderbird is going to end up being the room that the professors will use, the ones who are like helping to organize the events. They will use the Thunderbird room to do that. So, cool. Everyone has their houses that they are going to be. So, we will base the team names on your house names. So we've got the Wampus team, the Pukwudgie team, and the Horned Serpent team. Okay, sweet. Now, the more important thing is to select what the next event will be, the first event of the 4. So the way this will work is a different representative of the group, so Juan can't do this one, will come up. They will also do another game roll check, and whoever rolls the highest will have first pick as to which event will happen first. Then the next team will choose the event that will happen second, location-wise. You're basically picking a location. And then the third one will get the last pick. So decide now who, other than Juan, will represent the group to make this roll, this game's roll.
I'm gonna be like, okay, Rox, you got this?
Yes.
I think he should go. And I point to Al.
Hey guys, you wanna go?
I think she's got this.
I sure do. And she just walks off.
Into the distance.
As she walks off, Levi nudges Juan and be like, hey, at least we got like one cute girl on this team, right?
I'm not sure if that's the best way to calibrate how good a team is. But yeah.
All right,
I thought we were going to be all dudes over here. All the other teams got like 3 or 4 girls. We're the only one with 3 dudes.
Yeah, that's right. That's weird.
Juan, you look at the Horned Serpent group, and Ayika and Tritessa seem to be discussing who's going to go up. Ayika will motion to Tritessa that she can go up if she'd like to. You recognize Ayika as the older brother of Kwame. If you remember, Kwame was the one who was in your class, in your sorting group. So Ayika is his older brother. And so Tritessa will go up. And Tritessa, Tritessa has, again, a very serious, no-nonsense, focused look on her face. And she's sort of like, she's calculating. She's got a very calculated look. And she arrives there and she does her roll. And the person who is chosen for the Pukwudgie team is Chance.
Oh, that's
so
unfair.
Tritessa will roll. She gets a 9. Chance gets to roll twice and get the better of the 2 rolls because he's
very lucky.
He's very lucky. So he got an 11. So what did Roxana get? A 5?
I got a 6 because I forgot to add my intelligence. Yeah.
All right. So so the Horned Serpent will, the Pukwudgie group gets to huddle, and they will discuss which of the events they're going to go to first. So between an event in Japan, Africa, Brazil, or Russia, basically is the choice. And they are going to choose Goldovstarets.
Damn it.
Not the homeland.
Not my homeland.
Horned Serpent, for the second event, they will choose Mohotokoro.
Okay, upon seeing that the first team chose Goldovstarets, she's just going to go, all right, what are we picking? They took my pick.
All right, okay. Before I give you my suggestion, I got 2 questions. All right, 1, are you single? 2, how's Africa this time of year?
I don't do heat.
Okay, so I can answer to one of those questions. Africa is real nice now. I mean, I really like it. But Roxana, you're either going to get the heat, damp weather of the rainforest, or just the normal heat of Africa.
And whichever one we don't pick is going to be toward the end of the year, so I think it'd be best to stay away from bad weather if we can.
All right, let's
Yeah.
just get the aftercare out of the way.
Perfect. Ouagadougou it is.
Ouagadougou,
Alright.
which means
So is she single or not, guys? She didn't answer.
I'm not going to justify that with a response.
I didn't know she could hear me. Sorry, guys.
Ouagadougou will be the third event, which means Castello Bruxo will be the final event. So, what is going to happen now is that the first event will be announced so that you guys have the next week or two to prepare yourselves for the first challenge. So that means that the headmaster of Koldovstorec, which is headmistress Kazima Valentin, she will get up onto the podium and she says, "Greetings, everyone. For those of you who do not know me, I am headmistress Kazima Valentin. I am the headmistress of Koldovstorec. Thank you very much to the Pakwaji team for choosing Koldovstorec as our first event. We are a very proud country, and it is an honor to be able to kick off this competition hosted by our school. We are very excited for you to enjoy our culture and enjoy our people. To all of the contestants, I am happy to announce the very first event, and you can hear Nico very verbally saying, "Please let it be Quidditch. Please let it be Quidditch. Please let it be Quidditch. Russian Quidditch." Yeah! Nico says, "Oh man, you guys are dead. You're all dead." Nico says,
Have any of you played Quidditch before?
No.
Naila is like really so. Different reactions. Naila's like, "Oh yeah, that's great." Finn looks very pleased by this a lot because Finn plays Quidditch himself. Chance is like, "Wait a minute, don't they use giant large trees in Quidditch? I don't think I'm very equipped for this. I think I'm a little bit of a disadvantage." Chessa is watching Nico, and Chessa actually for the first time seems very concerned when she's looking at Nico because she knows that Nico is a very good Quidditch player. And I'm gonna say that Tobias, Tritessa, and Ayika are like pointing at Nico and says, "This is all you, man. You gotta teach us. You gotta train us. This is all you." And Nico's like, "Guys, I got this. I got this. We got this. How about you guys?"
I'm gonna be like, I know how to ride a broom. That's about it.
Do you guys know how to play Quidditch?
Hope you like losing.
Now, we're not going to lose. Look, we got to get into the right attitude, all right? The right mindset. I'm like, the coach says, like, I'm like the third greatest Quidditch player he's ever seen in his life. So I think we got this, guys.
Okay.
Well,
I like that.
At least there's something that you're good at.
I'm gonna be like,
thinking a lot of
Roxana,
things.
Roxana, we're all teammates. We need to treat each other better. And if we're all as bad as I think we are, we really need time to practice.
Oh, I'm not bad at Quidditch. I'm a gun at it. And by a gun, I played it once or twice.
Anyone else wondering, doesn't Quidditch take like 7 people and there's only 4 of us, so how's that gonna work?
Excellent question, the headmistress says. Yes, it is true that in traditional Quidditch that there are far more than 4 players, which is why we are going to do a condensed version of Quidditch. 1 seeker, 1 beater, 1 chaser, and 1 keeper, because there are 4 positions. And the rules will be slightly modified for 4 players instead of the traditional 7. But that will be explained in the beginning of the actual event itself. For now, I highly recommend that each of you decide who is going to be which position and practice, because for those of you who are used to riding around in brooms, you're going to have a big surprise when you see what Koldovstorec's Quidditch is like.
Oh,
I'm gonna
you
go with Roxana and be like, how's Koldovstorec's Quidditch?
All right, now, guys. Okay, Russian Quidditch, how do you play it? It's like, is it like they use bigger balls, or is it like they're 2 golden something? You gotta get them like at the same time or something like that.
Well, the rules are the same, but the brooms are a little bit different.
Oh, they're like way faster or something?
No, they're just big trees.
Wait.
Really?
Trees?
Tree.
What are you
That's
talking
Mhm. We just
the
Like
one
the
no,
brooms are made of really big trees. They like cut them down into like nice brooms. What you're trying to tell me here, yeah?
No, listen. Please, for the love of God, listen. They're big trees. Big trees. Big trees.
like literally a big tree.
Yes, what is so hard to understand? Big trees.
How did you ride a tree?
You sit on it, I guess. Like a
Oh, that
riding
don't
a
sound
horse.
crazy at all. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know why I didn't just automatically assume we just like fly around on these really big trees.
I guess there's not a lot of assuming going on between your ears.
I don't even know what that means, lady. So,
No, of course you don't.
Roxana is so savage.
Savage.
all right. So I don't know about you guys, but like I'm definitely like a seeker. That's like my thing. That's what I do on the Quidditch team. And like I said, Coach said I'm like the third best he's ever seen in his life.
Okay, well, I guess, Sigurd, you better not be bullshitting me.
I would never. I am honest to the core.
Perfect, then you're the seeker. Roxana, you seem a little bit aggressive.
You look like you like to hit things with sticks. You should definitely be like, well, what's the bludgeoner?
I was gonna say that with a little more touch, but yeah.
It's called the beater, genius. And yes, I'd love to be the beater.
good. That means I don't have to carry a stick and ride a broom because that's hard enough by itself.
Okay, so
Alright.
we have the seeker, we have the beater, we need.
We just need a
catcher.
goalie now. We just need a goalie, and then we just need. I don't
goalie-
know what the last position.
The goalie just gets to like sit there, right? Like the keeper doesn't have to move a lot, right?
No,
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
I think that's a good spot for me.
All right.
So then I take the last position.
Which is, so we have the beater is Roxana, we have the keeper is Albion, then who's the seeker and who's the chaser?
Levi's the seeker.
I'm the
Levi
seeker.
will be the seeker. Okay.
Yeah, and he'll
Then
be
Juan is
the.
the chaser.
And Juan will be the chaser. Okay.
He's the go-getter guy right there. Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys can discuss this at greater length once you're in your room, because that's when you will be strategizing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But for right now, party time and socializing. So several of the
Let's hope
professors
it doesn't go as badly as the party I had yesterday.
Yeah.
several of the professors and students help bring out a banquet of food. So there's like a nice buffet table that has some traditional American wizarding food all over the tables. Many of which are in the forms of like burgers and fries. There's some southern barbecue over there. There's some like Louisiana beignets over there, things like that, which probably makes Levi remember Rodney because he was talking about those beignets, and now
Yes.
maybe you might actually be able to have some beignets. Yeah, so lots of very traditional American cuisine in the wizarding world. Tables are set up, and there actually are a section of tables specifically for the three groups, the three teams to sit at. But again, all of the professors and headmasters are going to encourage everyone to intermingle and socialize with everyone from the other schools. And the banquet begins, which means the RP is open for anyone to RP with anyone.
If nobody wants to go first, I do want to go find Toby.
Go ahead.
Rob could go first.
Go ahead.
So I go and find Toby, tap him on the shoulder.
You'll go and find Toby, and right now the team is still relatively together, so Aika is going to be he's going to be trying to calm Toby down, and he says, now remember, Nico says that he can train us, so just put your trust in him. We have to put our trust in each other, and we will get through this. Yes, through this. Oh, Roxy, congratulations. I have no idea why I'm on this team.
because you're the best. Don't worry, Toby. You'll be okay. And I kind of give a nod at, sorry, what's his name? Aika?
Aika. Ayomidi. Yes.
And I'll turn to him and I'll say, the name's Roxy, but I think you already know that.
Aika nods at you and says, "Pleased to meet you. My name is Aika." And he holds out his hand to shake.
She shakes it.
He's got a, not that you might not necessarily know this, but he's got a Moroccan accent. I can't do a Moroccan accent, but that is how he speaks. And he says, "I look forward to seeing your country. I've never been to Russia before."
Well, first piece of advice, bring a jacket. Big jacket, thick one.
I will have to borrow one from someone, as I can't say I actually own a jacket.
I don't think you probably need one in Uganda.
He will smile, and Toby will say, "Ayika's very cool. He's a whiz in alchemy."
Ah,
And Ayika will smile at that. Roxy has been my best friend for as far as I can remember.
yes. I'm very sorry to be rude, but do you mind if I borrow Toby for a minute?
Ayika will quietly nod, and Toby will follow you.
I'll take him to like a corner somewhere,
Sure.
and I'll say to him, "Oh, so how are you feeling?"
Overwhelmed? A little excited. The people on my team are cool. Tessa's a little scary. She's very intense. Aika's very calm, and Nico's just fun. Nico's just very fun.
He seems like he's very talented.
He seems very good at Quidditch, but I don't think he knows yet about our Quidditch.
Oh, you practice.
I have a little bit of an advantage since I've actually played our Quidditch before. Not very good, but I know what to expect.
Yes. And I know we're on different teams, but I'm still on your team. And
Oh,
understand what I mean.
that means a lot, Roxy. Thank you. And he just walks over to you and gives you a hug.
Oh, welcome back. And I say, if you need anything, just let me know. And she pulls back and she says, and if that, what's her name, Tessa gives you any mayhem, just let me know and I'll return some mayhem.
Hopefully not. But
Yeah.
yes, she's just very determined, goal oriented. It seems.
So let's say we go find some toads and put it in the punch.
I like your thinking.
All right, let's go. And we'll run outside.
What is happening while Roxanne is doing her thing? What else is happening?
If they're sitting at the table still, Levi would be like, "So do you guys think she's into me or what? She kind of gives off that vibe, she's kind of." She didn't instantly say no when I asked if she had a boyfriend. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I think I have a shot here.
Usually they instantly say no to you.
Yeah, all the time actually. It's quite often, my friend.
I'm gonna be like, man, I don't know. I'm not very good at reading women. Women are a mystery. But, you know what? Just keep trying. Someday you'll find true love, I say while I pat him.
Hey, thanks, pal. I'm not very good with names. What was your name again?
Juan Diego de la Rivera. You?
What was that?
Okay, so this is really hard for people. Listen. Juan Diego de la
Juan
Rivera.
Diego. I'm gonna call you Obi. Yeah, you're Obi.
Obi.
Yeah, like Obi-Wan, you know.
Who's Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan Kenobi? Come on, you've seen Star Wars, right? Has anybody in the
what?
magic world ever seen Star Wars? Nobody here has seen Star Wars?
I don't know what you're talking about. But
It's a...
you can call me Obi if you want.
All right, Obi, I like that. And then I'll look over at Al and be like, hey, man, what you look familiar. What's your name?
You're the guy that I met at the Ministry of Magic, right? Albion here.
Albion. You know, that name's not clicking with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think I do kind of remember meeting somebody who looked like you, like a long time ago. Weren't we supposed to like go hang out or something? Like, it wasn't like I was looking forward to it or anything. Was that you?
Weren't you going to take me to some sort of like Muggle show or something?
Yeah, like a movie. Like I'm talking about. Like nobody here has seen Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the weirdest thing. You know, and I think like Star Wars Episode 1 just came out like this year or next year. I don't know.
Well, maybe you'll have to take our whole team to see a movie at some point, since you know so
Yeah,
much.
you guys will all have to go see Star Wars. And then the nickname. What was your name again?
Albion. You can call me.
Albion. All right, cool. I'm gonna call you Gator.
What?
I'm gonna ask.
Like alligator. You're a gator.
Sure.
All right, got Gator and Obi. Nice. I like this.
Okay, Lion.
Hey, you can call me whatever you want.
If Al sees his dad at any point, he's gonna make an escape when he can. It doesn't have to be right now if you guys want to keep doing that, but that's where his attention has been pretty much since they were announced.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I was just gonna say after like that conversation, and he's looking for his dad, I would look for Chance. So just to let you know.
Yeah, I mean, you'll find Nyla.
And you're gonna find Isla. All right. So I'll start with Albion. So Albion, you're going to go make a beeline towards your father. Your father is currently on the side of the stage. He's still up on the stage, but you know they're starting to take the podium and everything down. And he's chatting it up with the 4 headmasters or headmaster/mistresses from the 4 schools. And when you arrive, he will see you immediately, and he'll say, Albion, just the person I wanted to see. Congratulations. He turns to the 4 headmasters. This is my son. He gets behind you and he puts his hands on your shoulders. This is my son, Albion, one of the champions of the Zodiac Games. And the 4 will nod towards you, and your headmaster will smile, and the headmaster of Castello Brushu, the headmistress of Castello Brushu, will give you a nod. The headmistress of Wagadu will say, it is a pleasure to meet you, Albion. Your father has spoken very highly of you and your abilities. I think you will be one of the people to watch in this competition.
All right, so Al is trying to put a good face on. He's still a little irritated, but he will politely bow, especially to the 3 headmasters and mistresses he hasn't met yet. And he'll give a very polite, the pleasure is all mine, and I appreciate your kind words. Hopefully I will not let my school down in my performance.
Headmistress Vinza Mwamba will smile warmly, and she will turn towards the headmistress of Castello Brushu, Headmistress Wilhelmina, and she says, I'm very curious about these pancakes that I hear a lot about. And Headmistress Wilhelmina will say, I'm very curious about that too. I definitely want to get in line for those. And they will start to depart.
He'll turn to the rest and say, if you will excuse me, may I please borrow my father for a minute?
Yes, of course. I will be right back. And he will follow you. Albion! Albion! This is wonderful. This is fantastic. I thought that you had it in you.
Would have been nice for a little heads up there, Dad.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, I mean, clearly you knew this was happening this year, and, random. I don't know how random the selections were, but out of the hundreds of students here, I find it a little odd that I was one of the 12 to be put in this spotlight.
Albion Mermont, are you accusing me, your own father, of fixing this event? I'm disappointed and surprised at you.
Well, if you didn't fix it to get me in, then maybe you can use your influence to get me out.
But why? Why would you give up this opportunity?
He just sighs. He says, "Do you think this is what I want to be doing right now? Being put in the public eye after everything that just happened?"
With Albion, with everything that has been happening around the world, we need to be able to show that some normalcy has finally come back to the wizarding world. And events like this raises the morals of everyone. This is something that you personally could do. Your mother would want you to do this.
She's not here now, and so that doesn't really matter what she wants for me to do this or not. I'd rather not have all eyes on me.
Your dad, pauses because it almost feels like he just got stabbed in the chest with that. It looks like whatever you said really hurt, but he's trying really hard to not show it, but you can see it in his eyes. Albion, whether you like it or not, you are a Mermont of two very important people in the wizarding world, so I'm afraid you can't avoid being in the public eye. And as somebody who is in the public eye, you have a responsibility.
He lets out another big sigh, kind of realizing he may have pushed a little too far and been a little too curt. "Fine," he says. I never purposely try to shame our family, so obviously I'm gonna do what I have to do in this competition, he says, but he says, "I want to make you a deal."
All right.
He says, "Ever since everything happened with Mom," he says, "I feel like I just haven't gotten many answers, and so I'll do my part. I'll play the happy, intelligent son that puts you in a good light, and I'll do Mom's honor proud, but in return," he says, "I want to know more about what happened. You have connections, obviously. I want some answers, and I want you to treat me as if I'm an equal here, because I am an adult, and I think you need to start treating me like one."
Don't you think I've been trying to, this entire time, find out what happened to your mother?
You've been trying, but I feel like I personally haven't gotten many answers.
Because there aren't any answers to give you yet, Albion.
So if there are, you would tell me?
If I find out anything about your mother, I would tell you, yes. As for whether or not to treat you like an adult, I will treat you like an adult when you start acting like one.
He kind of sits back. And how have I not acted like an adult, Father?
Well, coming over here and accusing me of fixing this event for you just because. Having crazy ideas like that, it's not becoming of a Mermont.
So maybe I don't have any proof, but he kind of just shrugs it off.
Your father gets really, really frustrated. He said, "Listen to me, boy. You are going to get out there and you're going to put on a happy face and you are going to represent our family in this competition with the respect that it deserves, because that is what you're supposed to be doing."
He says, "And I'll do just that." And he gives kind of a wry smile.
All right. And you will walk away?
Yeah, he will
All right.
walk away.
All right.
Dude.
All right.
My
Drama here.